Hey guys, I'm going to do another one. This video I'll be talking about automatic stabilizers, job guarantee, and all of that from an MMT perspective. And before I do that, what is an automatic stabilizer? All right, well, maybe you are one of these people. If you are, I'll try to be nice. The people that complain about people on unemployment, calling them lazy, or receiving SNAP benefits. Can you believe that guy bought a steak? I don't even buy a steak. I can't afford it. You know the people I'm talking about. Piss off if you are. Sorry. Well, you don't want your tax dollars paying for SNAP benefits and unemployment. Well, they're not. I already got the balloon pre-blew up this time. I'm starting to learn. Just air out of the balloon, okay? They go to dollar heaven. Your tax dollars aren't paying for any of it. And B, SNAP benefits and unemployment, they are automatic stabilizers, okay? Now, if you have, this is all common sense, but I'll go through it. It should be easy to follow. A capitalist economy runs on sales. When people are spending money, that becomes someone else's income. But all throughout the history of capitalist economies, there always has been, there always will be, recoveries and recessions, booms and busts, right? All you can do is try to lengthen the recoveries and shorten or cushion the blow of the recessions. But you can't stop them. They're inevitable, okay? But the automatic stabilizers, they aren't just there, to help people out. It's to help the economy. When people start losing their jobs and you have a recession, what are they doing? Well, they don't have money to spend. So when you're spending to someone else's income and you stop spending, well, then someone else loses their income. But because the government is spending, for SNAP benefits, then people can keep going to the grocery store and buying food. And then Jimmy, the overnight stock boy, gets to keep his job, keep getting a paycheck, so he can keep spending into the economy. It's an automatic stabilizer. Same with unemployment. Another thing. Are there lazy people who collect unemployment? Sure. Are there lazy people you work with and you wonder how they have a job? Sure. There's lazy people everywhere, okay? There's also people who are unemployed who probably work harder than you do, just trying to get by, finding something to do so he can feed his kids, But let's talk about it. There's a thing called the NIRU, non-accelerated inflation rate of unemployment, that they try to hit, okay? They try to keep 5% unemployment. If it gets under 5% unemployment like it is now, they take measures to try to put on the brakes. They do that by raising interest rates. They're doing that right now because the unemployment rate's getting too low, even though it's not. They go by the U3 unemployment, which doesn't really show how much spare capacity we have, how much slack in the economy. If you're one of the 96% employed, what if all you could find is 10 hours a week at Walmart for $10 an hour or less? What are you? Well, you're happily employed, right? You're also probably fucking hungry. I just cussed in my man van, but you get the point. They need a new way to measure the unemployment. You could go by U6, which gives you a better number, but they intentionally keep 5% unemployment. So Warren Mosler has a video. I'll probably tell it wrong, so I'll post the video in the descriptions, about 100 dogs. If you have 100 dogs and you hide 95 bones and you tell them to go look for it, well, there's going to be 5 dogs that don't get a bone, right? And then you take them back and you train them. You just need to train them more so they can find bones better. You go send them back out there, well, there's still going to be 5. Even if they're trained better, there's still going to be 5 without a bone, right? Same thing. They intentionally keep 5% unemployment because they fear. This should make you mad. It's making me mad just talking about it, and I've talked about it for a while now. The reason they fear too many people getting jobs the threat of unemployment is what keeps wages down. If maybe you're on the lower end of the employment spectrum, these aren't really, doesn't apply as much to higher paying jobs, but the threat of unemployment is what keeps you from getting a raise. Say you're doing two people's job. You should be making more money than you make. You go to your boss and you say, I need a raise. Well, he's going to say, well, no. Johnny over there said he'd do your job for $2 an hour less because he's desperate for work. Even if he doesn't do as good a job as you do, he's paying him less. So he'll be happy to do that. That's how they keep wages down. Keeping wages down, you make less money, so you, God forbid, don't spend the money if you make more, because that will cause inflation. People all start making more money. That's where the job guarantee, MMT basically says bullshit on the NIRU. It's a lot lower. You could have a different way to measure it. You can have, instead of a buffer stock, is pretty much what Bill Mitchell describes, a buffer stock of unemployed people like we have now, a pool of workers that the private sector can hire from at any time. Why don't we just hire them directly with a federal job guarantee? You could have a buffer stock of employed people through the government job guarantee program. You could pay them a new minimum wage. This would be setting a new floor for employment. The popular number seems to be 15. So $15 an hour. Everybody who's willing and able to work is guaranteed a job at $15 an hour. Now, I'm not going to get into a lot of the details on this, because you're going to be like, well, what are the people going to do and how are you going to pay for it? Well, if you watch it all, you know how you pay for it. The government can buy anything that's for sale in its own currency, including and especially labor. So it can hire everybody directly, as long as the labor's for sale in your own currency, okay? So all the questions you're going to have about, like, what jobs would you do, I'll put that in a frequently asked questions link by Pavlina Trineva, who's done great work on the job guarantee for over 20 years, okay? Just look in the descriptions and I'll put that. But what it does is it's a new automatic stabilizer, because you'd essentially, the government would run as big of a deficit as it needs to at any given time to keep full employment. Topping off the balloon, right? If you're doing, I know we're not doing great now, but unemployment is really low compared to other years. So if you're doing pretty well unemployment, the government's contribution wouldn't be that much. You just have to spend a little bit. But if you have a recession and fewer people are working in the private sector, then the government's deficit would rise to the level it needs to be to maintain full employment. All right. Besides that, it's an economic stabilizer. It's price stabilizer. Let's just look at the benefits for people. 1 in 5 suicides is related to unemployment. You could not necessarily, you're not going to end suicides by having a job guarantee, but cut that number back. And here's one that really is my main motivation for loving this program. 75 to 85% of adults on the autism spectrum are unemployed. 75 to 85%. It means they're looking for work and can't find it. Well, my son is going to turn 8 in May, and he's on the autism spectrum, okay? He wants to be a postman. And the odds are not in his favor to even get a job at all. That number is ridiculous, but, I could go, donate I don't have any free time, but if I did, I could go help them try to improve that number, try to help autistic adults work on job interviews. There's people that do that try to get the unemployment rate down. Well, we could end it. We could just eliminate it. Federal job guarantee. Everybody willing and able to work is guaranteed a job at a living wage. That would make me sleep a lot better at night. I don't get much time to sleep. Here it is, 11:20. I'll be up in like 5 hours. I still got to drive to Maryland. But The 3 hours of sleep I get a night would be a little better. Maybe 4 on good night. So, one question that a lot of people have is government spending on a program like that would be crowding out private investment. No, it's not competition. It's setting a new floor, and it would be hiring the people that the private sector don't want to hire. So you can't get mad at an ex-girlfriend after you dump her if you see her with another guy, right? I mean, you can, but here's what you do if you really want her back. You treat her better. Buy her some jewelry. Take her out to dinner. Buy her some flowers. You have to treat her at least as well as the guy she's with. Then maybe she'll come back to you. Well, same kind of thing. Private sector better at least match the minimum wage and benefits offered by the Job Guarantee program. It's good for labor. It's good for people. There's not really a downside to it. But look in the video's description for I forgot what I said. Oh, the Warren Mosler video I'll try to post, and the frequently asked question list where it'll get into a lot more detail on the Job Guarantee and how it is doable. So that's it for the night.